Hello and welcome to Japanese craft beer reviews. It's been a while for me, maybe not for you since you're just turning this on right now, but I haven't made a review for a while and I'm going to get back into it. I've got a whole series of beers from a single brewery that I'm going to look at, I think 9 or 10 perhaps. The brewery is called Ise Kadoya, and they are located in Mie Prefecture, which is in central Japan, and it is the kind of an offshoot of a sake brewery, which opened in 1575, so they have been around for a while brewing sake, and they opened as a craft beer brewery in 1997 with some success. It was kind of helmed by I think it still is, by a man named Suzuki, who got a PhD in some form of biology. I don't know exactly which, but he studied yeast, which is of course good for a brewer. And they are located again in Ise City in Mie Prefecture, which is a very famous city. Kind of traditional city, and it's host to the Ise Grand Shrine, one of the most important Shinto shrines in Japan. And they later hired a brewer named Deguchi, who is quite good, and an assistant who used to work at, I'm sorry, no, the assistant left there, that's right, Deguchi was the brewer. And so they have a restaurant there called Byakuda, and their main brewery is now called the Shimono Brewery. They built this new brewery in 2018, and they have restaurants at the Naiku Mai Shrine and Geku Mai Shrine. There are actually two shrines, the inner one and the outer one, and they have a shop at their Byakuda restaurant where you can pick up beers there. They have also a couple of restaurants in Tokyo, one in Shinjuku and one in Yaesu, where you can get a number of taps. Ise Kadoya makes a lot of beers. I think I'm pretty safe in saying that they make more varieties than any other brewer in Japan, craft beer brewer. It's really kind of hard to keep up with them, and many of them, of course, are limited or seasonal beers, one-offs, and they do have kind of a set line, a regular line as well. I have a playlist of Ise Kadoya beers, so you can check that out. Please do variety, and I'll add these beers to that. Now, this is an introduction, of course. If you have, you can skip ahead if you want to see the reviews of the beers. I'm going to look at some of their what we call omiyage beers, souvenir beers, which are sold in and around the Ise Shrine area for tourists, and then some of their newer kind of one-off beers, kind of interesting, unusual beers that they make. Okay, so we're going to begin with one of the beers from Ise Kadoya now. And here we are with another beer from Ise Kadoya Brewery in Ise, Mie Prefecture in Japan. And it's this one. It's an unusual one. It is called Ise Kadoya Caramel Macciato. And it is a strong ale. It's at 8% and 50 international bitter units. Macchiato is a coffee drink, of course, and you may know it from maybe Starbucks or someplace like that. It is a shot of espresso, or an espresso drink with just a drop of milk, a touch of milk. So you know things like cafe latte, which has a lot more steamed milk in it. This one has just a touch of milk. And in fact, the name macchiato means stained or something like that. So baristas could named it that so they would show that it just has a drop of coffee, a stain of coffee or something like that. So and this is an unusual beer. It is, they call it an American strong ale with marshmallows and coffee, and I don't know, I think I might call it well, I guess I can't call it a pastry stout if it's not a stout, but that's what I would assume, a pastry strong ale. It has malt from England and the United States, and it has milk, and it has wheat, hops, and marshmallow, and coffee beans, and so 8%. We'll see. So 5 types of malt, they said, and they increased the boil time considerably. I don't know exactly by how much, but you notice the label, and the label seems to be kind of paying homage to a certain famous coffee chain, which begins with an S, let's say. And I assume that this man is Suzuki-san, who's, I think, the lead brewer there at Ise Kadoya. So, well, should we give this a go? I don't know. I'm kind of leery of it, but we'll see. I can't remember the last time I had a marshmallow, but it certainly was a long time ago. But I'm having one now. Here we go. Bit late in the day for coffee, and they don't specify the coffee. Generally in Japan, when craft brewers work with a coffee roaster, they definitely mention the name of the roaster, and I don't know that they do here at all. Okay, well, it is a kind of slightly hazy, sort of dark reddish amber color with a very thin, kind of light tan head. Okay, and the aroma, oh, okay, it's got coffee, it smells a bit scorched. What else? Coffee, not a lot else. Maybe some light stone fruit. Can't detect a lot else beyond this scorched coffee note. Okay, there's coffee, lightly scorched, kind of moderate fruitiness. Let me say some peach in there. The bitterness does hit in mid palate. Again, 50 IBUs, light alcohol warmth. This is interesting. It's okay. It's not quite integrated. Definitely, you get the coffee, you get the stone fruit, you get the alcohol and the mild bitterness, but they're not integrated. Coffee's kind of hard to work with. Most brewers, until they learn what they're doing, tend to steep the coffee too long, and that gives it the scorched sort of note. And this is lightly scorched. Yeah. So I recently had one from one of the finest breweries in Japan, Shiga Kogen Brewery, and they, again, steeped it too long. But actually, last year, one of the best beers I had was a beer from Second Story Ale Works in Shikoku, Japan, and that was a coffee beer, and it was blended just perfectly, not scorched, and everything was integrated. It was like one single experience. You could pick out the flavors, but it blended perfectly. This is not quite. I mean, it's not terrible, but still, I enjoy coffee. I drink it every day. But in beer, I think it has to be integrated well, and this is not really quite that good. Marshmallows? Wow. Yeah, I get some sweetness, but I would never be able to identify that as a marshmallow. Kind of a gimmick, I guess, and I don't know how far and wide this will be sold. I bought it in Ise, in the tourist area, in front of the Ise Grand Shrine, and so sold for tourists, but interesting, maybe a little bit overpriced, 759 yen, which is say about 650 US, something like that. But okay, well, you may see this, you may not, you probably will not, but tell me what you think of coffee beers, and Let's have a little conversation. Leave me a comment and subscribe to the channel. Okay, I look forward to hearing from you. That's it for today. Please stay healthy. Take care. Bye-bye.